spectrums, our first guest is not only a photographer, but he is also a producer of Project One, a fashion production which he says is the only high fashion runway in the city. Please help us welcome Roche Buford. Hello. Hello there. Comfort zone here. Oh, the introduction. Yes. Right, you may get some feedback right there.
Okay,
yes.
So Project One. Now you did say that is the only high fashion runway show in Milwaukee.
That was
a
bold statement, but I would.
That's a very bold statement. Okay.
No, I said that it was the only industry standard runway show.
Oh.
Okay. What does that mean?
It's like we said, like we know.
Get a little bit of feedback.
Of course I am.
Okay. Definitely.
Well, industry standard is basically a standard that's set by members of an industry. You mentioned earlier, somebody mentioned earlier that we are winning, and the reason you guys are winning is because we have an industry standard look.
Oh, okay.
So irrespective of, well,
even though I'm only 5 feet tall?
of course. Of course.
For TV. Okay,
But
we'll bring it back. Yeah.
There's a standard for everything.
Yeah.
If you are a hip hop artist, then there's a standard.
Right, right.
If you apply for a corporate job, then there's a standard.
Yeah.
Our basic resume is an
There's
industry
a standard, yeah.
So it's no different when it comes down to fashion or modeling.
Okay. So I still want to know, what is the industry standard?
Oh, what is the specific standard?
Yes. Is it like the height and weight and?
In most cases.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the height, the weight, the look.
Okay.
Okay, I see. So, and then, really, what we're going to have to do, we're going to have to come to your next event, yes. and then we will see what industry
Right.
standard
Actually
really is.
means.
Exactly.
Yes.
So most people don't know that you started out as a detective.
Right,
because we know
Yes.
photographer and all this extra stuff.
Wow. Well, yes, I did start it out as a private detective. Still am.
You're still a detective.
Yes.
Private. Did we just blow your cover?
And in 1989, I became licensed as a Milwaukee private detective, opened up my own agency, and worked in areas of background investigation, missing person, undercover work, and did a lot of criminal defense work. I've done work for federal government, state governments, and even
Find
TV
drug
shows.
dealers.
No.
You said find drug dealers?
I've never been hired.
That would be scary.
I've been hired by drug dealers
Oh, wow.
to work on cases.
Interesting.
Not in a negative sense.
I'm like, I don't know.
No, not in a negative sense.
Are we putting that? I'm like, I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say
In
either.
terms of defense, because I
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. So wasn't it a point where cheaters actually tried
That's
to
what I was gonna
recruit you to be one of their detectives for the show?
Well, I receive either a postcard or a phone call from cheaters at least every 3 months.
Wow, they want you.
They want you bad.
So you would just be obviously the undercover person that finds these folks cheating on people. And so why do you turn it down?
Is it another state?
A few reasons. I've done
for him
so
to
many
fly.
spousal infidelity cases that I don't have much of an interest in those.
Okay.
And I've done a,
sad.
But they're juicy. Like, I am so addicted to cheaters. I am so addicted to that show.
Yeah, but
Continue, sir.
yeah. While we about to take it over, go ahead.
I did a cable crime show once in the 80s called Case Closed many years ago out of California, and it wasn't all that exciting. So I don't think cheaters would be either.
Oh wow.
They get beat down, knocked down.
Yeah, I think it's just after a certain while though, it just gets old for some people.
Yeah.
So you said, go ahead. I'm
I was
sorry.
going to actually say, you think that a person can become a doctor before they can become a photographer. Why do you think that?
I do believe that you can become a professional doctor prior to becoming a really good professional photographer. What most people don't understand is that photography is really, really complicated, and it takes many, many years. You could probably look out among us and see how many professional black photographers do we have. We don't have many. That's because lighting is complex. Lighting is always changing. It's never the same. So photography is always really progressive, and you never really master it.
You almost have to have a gifting,
it's
a calling.
for
Yeah,
it?
I would think so. You got to have a lot of patience for sure.
So can it be taught? Do you
Oh,
believe?
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But I think if anything, but the patience to really take it to that next level is that I guess that push, that calling. That
You
we're
have to
saying.
try new things too, new lighting and just different techniques and the lenses and all of that stuff.
Yeah,
It
'cause-
can get expensive too,
That-
can't it?
oh yeah, very expensive, and it's very complicated to move into the professional arena as a photographer.
Right.
Exactly.
Most high fashion magazines, they use
Photoshop.
Photoshop, and it's like an overkill. How do you feel about photoshopping? Photoshopping.
I think we've got to be able to make the distinction between photography and photo editing.
Okay.
Photoshop doesn't make you a photographer. Photography means to write with light, and unless you understand the quality of light, the intensity of light, the direction of light, you'd never be a photographer. Wow. Photography
Sometimes
doesn't
Photoshop
exist.
is needed though. Get little stretch marks on the side.
Of course, but that's apart from photography.
Right. Oh, that's a whole different.
Do you work with Photoshop though?
I do very minimal work with Photoshop.
Okay.
What made you get into photography? Was it detective and photography, or did you start as a detective and then?
Move over.
Yeah.
Started as a detective, and between cases, I would play with the expensive equipment I had to
Oh,
buy.
okay. Okay.
So playing around with that and shooting the kids, and they would take the photos to school, and people would request services, and then it became kind of overwhelming. The demand got really big, and just started to do it.
Oh.
And from that point, I studied through a correspondence program through the New York Institute of Photography, and I did that, and from that point, it just kind of blew up.
Were the fashion shows just a progression of the photography, or?
Yes.
Okay, just with the models, how do you go about selecting them? I know they have to be industry standard. We know that much.
Actually, I don't select the models.
Okay.
I do have someone that select the models for us, and of course, they know what the standard is for the show based on the look that we want with the show, and it just kind of goes from there.
So would you ever choose a shorty?
Are you trying to get in the show?
But I'm just
You just put it out there.
because I'm short. I have to represent for us,
Okay.
and there's lots of
Word.
models that are short.
Yeah.
Well, actually, we did have two shorter models in the show.
Okay.
The models, it was intended that the models be used for something else in the
Getting
show.
coffee. Oh no, I'm kidding.
The shorties get the coffee.
No, not at all. It was a runway presentation, but it wasn't the actual show.
Okay.
And we did not have enough time to interject that, and we didn't want to get rid of girls because they had
Okay.
worked so hard and they had gone through the training. So we put them on the runway.
Okay, well, before, we don't want to run out of time with you because we do want to know about Project One,
Yeah.
your fashion show. So let us know about that project.
Okay. Project One is an industry standard runway presentation. The purpose of Project One is to help establish fashion and bring value to the model industry here. So last year we hired over 45 people to work on the show.
I worked on the show.
I'll probably work this year.
And so we're striving to help the industry and bring value to it. And in the process, we get a chance to showcase people of talent, whether you're a photographer, musician. Also, we bring in a full orchestra.
Yeah, I said last
So
year you
the
had a full
model-
orchestra.
And
Beautiful.
Fabulous.
yeah, and the music is written by Project One. The theme song and everything was written by Nevada.
we love Nevada.
Everything about Project One is created.
Awesome.
By
Well, everybody,
indie
keep your eyes open for Project One and
Roche.
photos by Roche
Yes.
Buford.
Photographer.
Yes.
Yes. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You didn't seem like you liked. Right.